India's economic future continues to capture headlines. It's a key topic here at the Asian Investment Conference. Joining us now is Gurcharan Das, author, commentator and former managing director at Procter & Gamble Worldwide. Mr. Das, looking at the Indian government's reform path, are we likely to see more success this time around?
Well, one thing is that for the last 5-6 months, the government has shown more determination now than it had in the last 8 years. So there is momentum, and they need to build on that momentum. And that momentum doesn't mean necessarily doing difficult reforms. It just means implementing things, laws that have already been passed. And particularly investors are looking at the Cabinet Committee for Investment to see how these 900 stalled projects are doing. And they need every week to reassure people that they are acting on them. I mean, if I were Chidambaram, I would get the Minister of Power, with power is a constant problem, electric power, to get up there and tell people that, look, how are we sorting that one out? And the Minister of Environment is considered the obstacle to all growth projects. Get up there to reassure. Similarly, there's a PPP model in coal. Are we pursuing that in the railways? These are the steps, more than the more difficult reforms, which take time to do, which will, I think, bring energy into the government's hands.
With the elections on the horizon, are the reforms compatible with the elections?
Certainly, what the constituency this government has lost is a constituency of the 1/3 of India, which are the aspiring young people. And they're ready for the message of reform. This class will be a half of India in 10 years, and nobody's representing them. And that class may well go to the rival party, which is Narendra Modi and the BJP.
Do you think the Reserve Bank is doing enough to help the Indian economy?
Not enough. I do think there's scope for further rate cuts. And the last time, the Reserve Bank cut rates, it led to the miracle of 9% growth for 5 years. So we need to recover that. India is a uniquely consumer-driven economy, not an export-led economy like China. And therefore, anything we can do to shore up consumer confidence, make it easier for people to get loans for homes, for cars, for two-wheelers, for white goods. These are the things that will spark off the growth rate and get us back. And it's always a trade-off for the Reserve Bank between growth and inflation. But frankly, if something's going to cost between 20 and goes up to 25 rupees, if you don't have a job, it doesn't matter. So we need to get those jobs back. And 1% increase in the GDP growth rate means 1.5 million direct new jobs, and each direct job creates 3 indirect jobs, and each job supports 5 people. So you do the maths, and you're going to help 30 million people with 1%.
And therefore you're helping this younger generation that you were mentioning.
Exactly. That's where the hope of India lies, the aspirers that we want.
Finally then, should investors be building exposure to India at the moment?
I think so, certainly for the next 6 months. Your window is shrinking because as the election nears. What investors worry about are things like the food security bill, which might kill the treasury. And I personally think right now we have a good moment in India where there is momentum. And I do think that long-term India will recover back to 8%, 7 to 8% growth rate. And so certainly a long-term investor should be there. And the India story will be back.
Thank you, Mr. Das. For more insights from thought leaders, check out the Asian Investment Conference website.